Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm once again joined by Nick and Randy, and we got some price cuts across the entire Tesla lineup this week, which is terrible news if you're a Tesla owner. I'm sorry.
Randy, how do you feel about
great
these
news
price cuts?
if you're thinking about buying one?
I don't care about the prices. I paid what what the value was for mine.
I think prices were lower when you bought yours, so I think they're actually matching what they were when you bought. So it actually equals out.
I would argue no. I think I still got the better end of the deal, just because I do count include not full self-driving.
Yes, of course.
No, rebates and tax returns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Until that gets balanced, like I did strategically buy when I bought because of the incentives and stuff like that, and also full self-driving. But take away all
price cuts. They happen pretty much every year.
Yep.
But I want to know, because last year there were a few price cuts, but they were very temporary.
Yeah.
There was like a week or two later they went back up, and then they would go up $500 when they improved the range, and then another $1,000 for no reason. Do you guys think these price cuts are permanent, or do you think they're temporary for the pandemic?
Oh, I think they're permanent. They have to be permanent.
Why? Why do you think they're permanent?
They've been working towards that $35,000 price point for years. And
they hit it.
They did hit it, okay, but they're not marketing it. It has to be, in my mind, that $35,000 has to be something they're proud of. They have to have it on their website, big bold letters, starting at $34.99, $99, $95, or whatever. Like, it needs to be upfront in the center. Like, they're proud of this price tag. Right now, they're not, because it's not on their website. What they are proud of is the $38,000 Model 3 now that got a price drop.
Standard range plus, which now means that the $35K Model 3 is pointless if you ever plan on buying autopilot.
Yeah, which you're
It
crazy.
is not pointless if you never buy autopilot, but now standard range plus and standard range after autopilot, exact same price. Except one
maybe
has
that's how they're
way
phasing
more
out
range.
standard range. They're phasing it out.
It'll just not exist, you think?
I feel like autopilot will be standard
Eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of standard now, other than the off-menu one.
Right.
But
that's what I mean.
Imagine. Would they change the branding of it? I don't know if they could get away with that.
I don't.
Could they change standard range plus to standard range?
I don't know if it really. No, not for everything that leading up to, say, like today. No, and that's fine. Like, you got the P7, like the P70, this and that. Like the names will stay the same instead of long range, whatever performance. For where it exists in its time of being released, that's the name of what it is. It's just a legacy car at that point. It's discontinued, and what you have now is what you have now. And yeah, so they might change the name going forward. And it might cause a little bit of confusion. You'll get over it. People get over it. Because really, is that how you introduce it? They go, no, that's my Model 3. Only other Tesla owners have asked me which one. But they don't even ask me that because they go to the back and they go, dual motor. All right.
Yeah.
I know exactly
they
which
can
one
see
you
the
got.
badge.
Yeah.
Right.
But some people, when they get their wrap, they take off all that stuff because they want it clean. And they want to take off even the T. And I'm like, how dare you? So
I've seen a few Model 3s without the logo.
Yeah. They'll take
it does
them all
look kind of
off.
weird.
Yeah, it feels knockoff, you know?
Does the Cybertruck have a logo on it?
Yes.
Not on the front?
Oh. Not on the front, though.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't it have it on the back?
No,
On the
it
window?
doesn't. There's no logo on the
Nowhere.
Cybertruck.
What's interesting is the teaser
It doesn't
image
need one.
Elon tweeted had a logo,
It did.
but not the prototype, which I thought was kind of weird. Makes me wonder if the original picture was a aluminum model or something that actually had paint on it.
Maybe when they go into production, they'll bring the T back, and only his truck right now doesn't have it. The one that's 5%
Maybe.
too big.
I think the whole point of that design was to be simple and no paint and blank canvas for everyone. So that's probably why they left the logo off, because they figured you don't need a logo to know that that's a Cybertruck and it's made by Tesla. Like
That is very true.
Its design in itself is the logo.
Yeah.
That's how you know what it is. So I don't think they'll put one on, but if they did, I bet they would laser etch it. It wouldn't be like an actual badge. It would just zzz. But Randy, what were you going to say about the price cuts being temporary?
Well, no, just that I'm sorry, I was still thinking about your laser etched wood thing. Nick always laughs every time I get quiet and I like process the question. Nick giggles. He's quiet.
I'm giggling because Randy doesn't have something to talk about, and it's fun.
It is funny.
But Randy's just over here deep in thought, like Jonathan Iovine, or for this podcast. What's the designer name? Come on.
Franz Van
Holzen. Thank you. Franz, you're sitting over there.
Well, now I'm just not going to talk.
This would be a very quiet podcast.
Just listen to Nick laugh the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's going to be
Nervous
I feel like it's temporary because we've seen historically this happen, influx and adjustments and stuff like that. And I'm of the opinion it's pandemic. It'd be cool if it's not. I'm all for. Listen, some people are bitter that things are getting cheaper, but I'm completely opposite. What I paid has no effect about what you guys would pay if you were to get yours. I wish they get them all cheaper because it doesn't change. For me, it doesn't change anything. I bought what I thought it was worth, and if you can get it cheaper, then hey, maybe now it's at the point where you think it's worth to buy. It's worth is subjective, so I don't care what the price is. If you could stay cheaper, awesome. That just means my wife's gonna pick one up, more friends are gonna pick them up, and I think it's fun. I want everybody. I want us all to be in the EV future now. So
yeah.
However it gets us there, I'm all for it. I just feel like it'll adjust again because if it's not just of pandemic and quarantine, it'll go up and they'll find some justification. Oh, well, the new battery, this now cost goes back up again, and everything just ebb and flow. It just adjusts. That's my.
Although I thought the whole point of the new battery was to lower cost.
What if
the same way you keep the cost of when you buy used, they throw full self-driving in to justify the cost. I can see them using that approach too.
Okay. What if hear me out, Battery Investor Day, they get up on stage and they say, we've been doing this for a month now. Anyone who bought Tesla with the price drop, after the price drop, is getting the new battery.
Someone should do a video on that.
If only we had somebody who had the means.
Wait, what? I don't want your videos.
Oh, wait. I already did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Too late.
Well, cool. It was my idea first, even though I thought of it after you.
That's one theory I have, but the truth is people can do teardowns and look into the battery pack, so I feel like it's not that easy of a secret to keep. And they have done teardowns on the Model Y and stuff and that kind of thing, but my hope is that the price, I mean, obviously we hope the price cuts are permanent, but my thinking here is that it's because they're seeing Model Y production scale and ramp, and they want there to be a bit more breathing room between the 3 and the Y once they get ready for standard range. Because I felt like they had to do something with the Model 3 to make the Model Y separate enough, because in its current state, the Model Y was rumored to start, well, advertised to start at $39K, and standard range plus was $40K. So I was like, these don't work. This isn't going to work together. They're going to have to do something totally different with the Model Y, whether they call it a mid-range or a standard range plus. They'll do something different with the Model Y so that they can keep the 3 somewhat separate, because the 3 is ultimately still going to be cheaper. So my hope is that now that Model 3 standard range plus starts at $38K, Model Y standard range will be $42, $43, $44, something like that. Just so that there's a price gap between the two, because currently there's like $6,000 now between dual motor Model 3 and Model Y. So that's a pretty big jump. There's a pretty big differentiating price target there. And I imagine standard range will probably be less of a jump, but still somewhat noticeable. So I'm hoping that's what it's for, and not just a pandemic is affecting people, so we're lowering prices so that we can reach more people, and then after the pandemic we'll raise them up again. I hate seeing the prices go up. They won't
call it that. They won't call it, hey, now we're raising. They'll find a justification to raise the cost, but in actuality, my belief is that it's because quarantine has been lifted. So, they're a business. They're a publicly traded company. They need to make a profit. I don't fault them for doing it. It would be really cool if they just keep the prices. I hope whatever. I mean, if they do, it would. Honestly, maybe even selfishly, it would just make me more inclined to maybe consider the secondary one, because if I can get rid of my wife's gas car, that's my new internal goal to be like, all right, we gotta get rid of this ugly, ancient, medieval-looking torture device that smells when you turn it on.
Right.
I regardless, and I want it cheaper, and I say selfishly because one thing I've learned through the experience is like never again. From now on until the day I die, I will only buy vehicles outright. So I don't want to take out another loan, another auto loan ever again. So
that's good.
If I can get it cheaper, oh yeah, then absolutely. So selfishly, it's like, yeah, maybe make it a little bit more cheaper. I'm okay, keep it that way. Yeah. But then they'll be like, oh no, but full self-driving is worth $100,000. Oh, well, all right, here I come, Roadster. I'm sold.
I hope it's an impact of just Giga Shanghai doing well, because I'm hearing their production is ramping really fast and they're getting ready for Model Y production there. And if they're collecting a huge profit off those vehicles because it's cheaper to produce Model 3s there, then they just figure we don't need as big a profit margin at the Fremont factory because Giga Shanghai is pulling some of the heavy weight of the Chinese market. And they just started delivering the long-range Model 3s in China. And they get long-range rear-wheel drive, which annoys me. We don't get it here. And they're also getting the lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are cobalt-free over there. And prismatic cells, cheaper prices. They lowered the price, and they get the EV credits. So it's just everything's better over there for them. Kind of sucks. I hope that's an indicator of like when Tesla builds the factory from the ground up, they have better product compared to retrofitting a factory like the Fremont one.
I'm really looking forward to that new Cybertruck factory.
Wherever it is.
I know.
Still concerned they haven't announced it yet. They did announce the annual shareholders event. Did you see that, Randy?
I got a notification. Yes.
Are you going to be voting?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I take it.
It is my right as an owner, as a stakeholder, as an owner of this company. It is my duty. I have a responsibility to do this.
He's the CMO, the Chief Master Officer of Tesla. Owns a car and shareholders? I don't think anyone else could say that.
Elon answers to me legally.
He does.
He does.
I don't think we disagree on the one thing they were asking about getting into paid advertising. I'm pretty sure we all agree that's not necessary.
I am excited for the day that they have to, because when they start spending money on, TV ads or internet ads or whatever the platform is at the time, that is when we're going to have competition with Tesla, which I don't see happening for 5 to 10 years, like good solid competition. It'll get there someday, but it's going to be a while. And I really can't wait for them to start spending money on advertising, because that's just going to mean that the EV market and the self-driving market is so prosperous that Tesla feels threatened. Their financials are threatened to the point where it makes sense to spend money on marketing to increase their sales. So I honestly cannot wait for.
We just haven't got there yet.
Exactly. Yeah, we're still waiting for some people to catch up.
So we all agree it's not necessary now?
Yes, not necessary now.
Is Randy going to play devil's advocate?
I'm thinking, because the thing is, like, my devil's advocate point would just be, get as much visibility as possible. But one thing from my own personal observations, is that there's not a person out there who does not know what a Tesla is. Word of mouth is the strongest marketing, and in this sense, from a fiscal sense, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No need to throw money at something that's doing just fine right now.
There's no demand problem.
There's no demand. I can tell you every major city, every metropolitan knows what a Tesla is. If you're talking about rural America, I mean,
I have a different experience.
Yeah, but see, rural America is I like not to discredit, but it's like maybe that's not their target audience. But not for a lack of not wanting to sell there, because you can make an argument for even why it works in rural America, but maybe shipment would be a difficulty of getting out there. I don't know, and I'm not gonna. That's the part where I'm not gonna pretend like I'm educated in that sense. But I do know that every major city with dense population, all these all these they know what a Tesla is, and rightfully so. I mean, you see them everywhere, and marketing just by looking at it. We think about how vehicles. Let's go back a century. Henry Ford taking out the Model T and putting it out there. I can't imagine marketing besides like within a newspaper. People just saw them like, what is that? Because seeing the Model T as opposed to horses or other weird variants when people were experimenting with how an automobile should be, you see the Model T and you see a lot of them just start showing up. That's the marketing. And that was part of Henry Ford's genius besides the assembly line, which, you know, Elon has emulated in his new way in a more modern sense and stuff like that. So I would say in this case, it's no need for advertising. So it's really hard to play devil's advocate except for the fact that like, hey, just get it out there. Maybe internationally, maybe people out there, they don't know as much. So do marketing internationally. But I don't know. That's something
I'm trying to imagine a commercial for the Model T. Just, are you tired of walking? Try cars.
Buy ye old-fashioned car. You do it in the old school
voice. Hey, I say there, Sonny. Are you tired of walking?
Say there, Sonny. Aren't you tired of your horse kicking all your children?
Are you tired of your car smelling like poop?
Are you tired of feeding your car? Put gasoline in it instead.
Do you want to go 3 miles per hour instead? Impossible, he says.
12. This goes 12 miles an hour and 24 downhill.
I'm trying to think of what Tesla could do with advertising.
For $1999.95 with 6 small payments. Sorry.
Get a lease on your Model T. I'm trying to think of what Tesla could do with advertising because there's a lot of stupid car commercials that I'm sick of seeing. And I think there's a lot of negative stigmas with EVs that would be good to battle in the advertising sector because I still get comments on the channel fairly regularly of people that simply don't understand electric vehicles or don't understand charging or don't understand that the majority of people charge from home. There's so many missed points that I still see on a daily basis, and I wonder if word of mouth obviously does its job and does its best to try to combat that, but at the same time, is there something Tesla themselves can do to try to combat that? Because I still run into people in my daily life that think the charging is so slow and there's not enough charge stations in my town. And it's like, do you have light bulbs at your house? You can charge your car then if you have light bulbs that turn on. And they're like, but it charges way too slow and it's going to drive your electricity bill up. And there's like people who just don't grasp that electricity is cheaper than gas. Old story, but we were having some electrical work done at our new house last year. And I was asking about like in the future, like, hey, could we install an outlet here that would allow us to charge a car? And the electrician even did not understand. He was like, why would you get an electric car? Those things suck. And I said,
I'm not asking you that.
Yeah, I know. It was very we ended up not going with that electrician. Spoiler.
Obviously.
I told him to told him to hit the road because he had terrible prices for what he was offering. But still, he was like, there's not that many charge points around here. And I was like, you charge it from home. It doesn't matter. And he was like, that's going to make your electric bill go way up. And I was like, but you don't pay for gas, you moron. No, I didn't say that. I was polite, but at the end of the day, my point is like, there's a lot of people that just don't grasp the benefits and still don't understand that like range anxiety is mainly a thing of people who don't have EVs.
Yep.
It's when you think my car goes 450 miles, so why would I buy an EV that goes 250? And it's like not all range.
Only leaving the gas station does your car go 450 miles.
Right, exactly. The range of my gas car at this moment, as I'm talking, is not 400 miles. Its range is about 50 miles because we haven't filled it up, and we're trying to go through the entire month of May without buying gas.
Ooh.
And we're going to make it.
You're close.
So we put gas
I hope
in
so.
the car.
There's only 24 hours left.
I'm not going anywhere. I don't have anywhere to go.
So, in the sense of advertisements, the only reason why you would benefit from an advertisement is instead of word of mouth is because the people who are doing word of mouth are not articulate enough to convey these points. And
True.
If you want to,
toxicity. Yeah. There's toxic fanboys.
There is, but the thing is, you can't funnel them to go watch this Tesla or this EV or this whatever on YouTube, maybe like, no, I don't want to do that. Like if someone's having a conversation, sometimes in the moment it works, but if there was like a printout, hey, bullet points or something.
Print
but
out.
even then, like
What's this?
what is this antiquated or fine? So Tesla buys a billboard in Times Square that illuminates one point, and like, hey, boom, ultimately save money. The thing is, and the beauty of EVs is that I don't think you can articulately put it into like here's why you should do it in a single bullet point, because it's more intricate than that for all the better and right reasons. And if you're not willing to take the time to do the research, same thing like solar panels, I just don't know about it, I don't want to mess with, you have no business in it. The same reason, and I've made, this is the only case that I've made. I tell this to the same people who are not willing to take the time to research investments like stocks or something. If you're not willing to do it, you have no business in it. The same reason. It's like I could talk to you until you're blue in the face and you're just going to look at me like, oh, it seems like a lot of information. If you don't want to do the research about the EV, then you're not the market. That you're not for that guy. The same reason why you can't talk me into buying a motorcycle. And we could talk about why it's more gas. Like I'm not that guy. I'm not your audience for that. Or you can't talk me into buying a Ford pickup. Sorry, I'm not your guy for that. If the EV is a category in the automobile industry, the same thing as a pickup or a motorcycle or whatever. And if you're not willing to take the time to even learn about why there's going to be overlap, it's not for you. But this is coming from someone who's, even though I know I'm articulate about it, I don't have all the talking points, nor do I really care. It's not my job, and I don't really care to do it. And if the car sells itself, is what I tell people. And every single person, even over the weekend, I talked about it on the other episode of on the tech podcast, but I had family come over a couple days ago, and the same person I was telling you about with the iPad thing, she rode in my Tesla as we were going somewhere, and she's someone who's like, no, I'm a gas person. Blah, 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 blah. She goes, but I will admit, I've never been in a Tesla. I'm like, shh, get in the car. Well, why you make that face, Nick? Like 90% of the people I'd argue never been in a Tesla. Like, come on, I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'd like, just put your seatbelt on.
I can count on one hand how many times I've been in a Tesla.
So I'm like, let's go for a ride. And so I didn't say nothing. I just did all the things. And then when she was like, whoa, he is counting on one hand and on four.
Are we counting the actual cars that we've been in, or the number of times
It's
like times you've had a ride?
Yeah, it's all one and the same to me now. It's all overlapped. So yeah, we got in the car. We started driving.
Only 3. Oh my!
The very first question she asked, because her brain has been programmed, is she sits down. She goes, "So how do you turn it on? Where's the start button?" I'm like, but I get it.
You idiot!
Man, you're such a loser. You're stupid. What an idiot!
Buy my car, you moron.
Yeah. So, but she has a push to start, and she goes, "Well, how do you push to start? Where's the buttons? Where's the Where's the engine? Where's the this?"
You don't.
And I'm like, well, again, this is most people don't really fully understand. Never did the research, doesn't know the things, and it's
exactly.
It's not that's not her field of expertise, nor her strengths, right? She just I need to get to work. All right, well, let me show you all this stuff.
Right.
30 minutes in the car doing what we need to do, come back, show her everything from the acceleration boost to the not the acceleration boost, I didn't pay for that, but from like
of course not.
from picking up the speed really quickly to the full self driving to it reading the map and slowing down to even the toys in the car itself, and all that stuff. Everything. She comes home.
I love that toy.
We get back to the house and she goes to her boyfriend. She goes, I want one. Yes! And so every single person who took the time, and then she started, asking the right questions and stuff like that.
Right.
Then she's taking the time. But every single person, not a single person has been in my car or talked to me with the car and walked away and saying, nope, don't want it. Every single person who thought it was stupid goes, oh, I see. I understand. Okay. I just don't have that much upfront cost.
EV fever.
Yep.
Fever.
It's a fun toy.
There's a word in there. I got it too. It's your guys' fault. It was even before you bought the Tesla. It was like when we met up originally and got inside. I was like, okay, I get why this is exciting. That's when my craze of it, and that's when I started rearranging my life to accommodate for it. It's like, okay, how do we? What steps do I have to take to get to that car sooner? That's exactly what happened. But while at the same time trying to control my patience,
Right.
simultaneously. But yeah, you're right. It's I think the experience of being in it and noticing all the tiny little differences and stuff that probably would be very difficult to summarize in a commercial. Just combating so many questions people have about it, and which is why it comes back around to my point of Tesla's greatest threat: tradition.
So
Traditional thinking.
this is an example of saying, if I can give a simile here, that like specs on a paper do not equate to real life use. A commercial is specs on a paper. The best thing you can do is give yourself the I mean, honestly, I think the best marketing or advertising is you go to the Tesla store at a mall and have one of the guys take you for a test drive and talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And there's your real life, because seeing it on TV or on a commercial or on an ad or on a paper or however you get your news is not the same as sitting in it. And and even if you're like, oh, that kind of looks cool. Like, you see how we kind of like feel a certain way about the Cybertruck. Imagine then actually being in it. And you're like, oh my god, it's gonna kick your brain. You know, like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's specs on a paper, real life usage, two separate things, and you try to get as close as possible, and it's just not possible until you're actually in the car. And you're like, oh, okay, now I understand. That's why people give cars a test drive most of the time before they buy it. Even outside of EV, they want to test drive the car before they actually decide to make an offer, because it's like, I need to experience it first. There's always an experience factor involved before anything else.
So would you say at any point in the future would it make sense to do advertising? Or is EV like, unlike, because I mean, all the biggest companies in the world do advertising of some kind. Like,
I think
we got Apple, we got Google, we got, like, they all do ads eventually, even if it's not even buy our new product. It's sometimes just like awareness, like, hey, we exist.
I see,
like,
exactly. I see an ad being like an Apple. Here's to the wild ones, the crazy ones.
So not like a typical car commercial. Get the 2025
Absolutely
Tesla Cybertruck.
We gotta get Matthew McConaughey in a Tesla.
All right. Here's to the ones for thinking forward, driving forward. You know, like, I could see something like that. Like, it's a brand awareness in the sense that, what is it? And maybe not as cliche as the crazy ones commercial, the Think Different campaign.
Yeah.
But I would say in the sense that, like, brand awareness that's like science based with the technology that's out there and stuff like that. If people who say, you know, here is what a gas car is costing you out of pocket, and here's here's all the cost that goes into it. Here's what it happens if you were to be completely self-sufficient, something like that. In the sense that, like, here's a brand of, like, why does Tesla exist? If you can sell your why in a commercial, that's all you need. Why do you exist, and why should anybody care about you? Here's why. And we just so happen to make cool-looking cars. Oh, okay. Or we just so happen to make cool-looking solar panel roofs. We just so happen to put people in space. But here's why we exist. Oh, okay, I get it. Here's why we hate traffic, so we made a boring company that requires
more of
nothing
like
from
a brand awareness type campaign,
that
not so much a...
Yeah. Because the marketing is like, everybody today knows what a car is, like they know what a phone is. You don't need to sell. Here's what you could call on a phone. What? No, it's more like, okay, so here's what Tesla is all about. Here's why we exist, and here's how we make it. And if you want to know how we do it, Tesla.com, simple. Or go get on the internet. But everybody knows what the internet is. So it's like, I don't think you need to sell your product, because nobody cares about the product. There's a million different products just like something else out there in the world.
Right.
What you're selling, what you're marketing, what you're promoting is your existence. Why do you exist? And
your morals.
Why should anybody care? Why should I buy this car or invest in this company or whatever with this? Here's why. In 30 seconds or whatever. And if not that, just look. By the time they make advertising to be like, look around you, 1 in 4 people have a Tesla. Bop, 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 bop. Here's what we're about. Here's what we believe in. Here's where we're moving forward because of the human race and taking care of the Earth while we're still on it before we get to Mars, which, by the way, SpaceX. But I can see it being like that. But they want to have enough.
By the way,
they want like 2 decades, 3 decades worth of like use case, like for the last
Yeah.
A couple decades here. That for the last 30 years, Tesla has been bop. Look around, you know what we are, but here's why. And I can see that being a very effective ad. But even then, it's like word of mouth is still very powerful, man. Like we're all.
It's gotten them this far.
This show's basically word of mouth.
Exactly. Yeah,
it is.
We're doing all this free marketing for Tesla. Honestly, we should just start sending.
I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it.
Exactly. Me neither.
Right. And that's gotten them really far. So, I mean, it's possible. Maybe, I mean, you brought up a point about EVs being so drastically different from other products. There's iPhone ads. Think about it. The original iPhone commercial was very simple. It was literally just a montage of people saying hello on the phone. And then at the very end, iPhone. It wasn't like, here, look at the multi-touch screen. You can slide, unlock, and scroll in camera. It was mostly just like, phones exist. We have one too. That's Apple's way of doing marketing, which is an example of like $1 trillion company, which a lot of us think Tesla will be. But it's possible that because EVs are so drastically different and it requires answering so many questions and so much different thought, maybe I will say no advertising ever is possible. I don't know if it's likely, but I'd say it's possible that they might exclusively rely on word of mouth forever and just let the YouTubers, let the podcasters do all the advertising. And if I had to make a Tesla advertisement, though, it would basically be a split down two different videos playing at the same time. And one guy is just filling up his gas car, and it's putting the price of each trip to the gas station, and they're lining up. And on the other end, I would show some guy just driving home and his kids are in the driveway and he just plugs in, and it's like way less money and it's just going down. It's like a 10-second ad that plays before a YouTube video. That would just be just the cost benefits, just so people understand.
We should make it and then pay to promote it on YouTube, and then
we get nothing out of it. We'll refer people with our referral code. I think that's against the rules, but oh well. That's how I would do it.
Good thing you're not in charge, Drew.
Thank God. I wish I knew the profit margins on vehicles so I could see exactly how much we could cut off.
A lot. You can cut off a lot.
Well, why do they keep the 35K Model 3 so hidden if they can cut off a lot?
They have a margin that they're trying to hit, probably like 10 to 15% for the auto industry. And I believe the $38,000 one hits that 10 to 15% margin, but I would imagine the $35,000 one's probably more like 5 to 10%
breaking
margin.
Even.
Like it makes a little bit of profit, enough to make it worth selling, but not the profit margin they should be getting.
I saw the Model Y deliveries have been moved up to 4 to 8 weeks now, which I'm shocked by, because there's a lot of people still saying they pre-ordered and they haven't gotten their VIN yet. So I'm wondering if that just means they're about to scale like crazy, because I saw a few reports saying Fremont is about to hit full capacity, like pre-COVID capacity, in which case that's a very quick turnaround. It's amazing that by the end of May they could be getting up to the speeds they were before. And Giga Berlin is on schedule and stuff like that. So I think there's going to be a lot of Model Ys on the road by the end of this year.
The whole we're opening up our factory, I don't care what you say thing, kind of like, no, we're
and they dropped the lawsuit.
Yeah, I saw.
After they got what they wanted.
Yeah, like, all right. No,
maybe that was a bit of a bluff.
Of course it was. Absolutely. No, it's just like, just
a little bit.
It's most lawsuits, in my opinion, most are bluffs. It's just it's to prove a point. Like, and I'll sue you for it. It's like, okay, but
it's like get your crap together.
Yeah.
Because we're serious about this, so you better like
we're doing
change your rules or change it.
Right.
Yeah.
So Model Y, for all intents and purposes, it's rolling out. The truck, on the other hand, I still stick to my guns about everything. Like, it is what it is. Now,
it's still late.
Yeah, for sure. Now, again, this is always me just kind of playing devil's advocate, and then we just kind of went into this whole like, oh, well, I think this. I would obviously like it to come out sooner, really. Even when I make jokes about, like, that means we got to buy it sooner, fine. I would like for it to come out sooner, but they haven't announced anything still.
But you don't want it to come out, Randy. We know you don't like the Cybertruck.
No, I've always said
Can we say like
it does not matter what I think about the truck because I'm getting it. That's what I've said.
Yeah. But I think in agreement, 90% likely going to be Texas.
I really feel like it's going to be Texas. I hope it's
They're
Texas.
waiting a long time. There have been so many offers from people in Austin. Like, there's that one mayor or whatever who was like, did a video and she like pulled up in her Tesla and she had a red dress
People
on or
are
whatever. And
desperate.
she was like, okay, Elon, this could be yours. We'll give this to you for free.
It's like a game show.
Exactly.
Choose your giga location.
If it doesn't go to Texas, then that whatever state it goes to really has to make like one heck of a deal.
Really good offer.
Yeah. 100 because
I'm guessing it's Texas unless like the decision's been made unless someone else comes out with something even better.
Pretend
can
Texas is a
surpass
company.
What they have.
Texas is like Apple or Google or Amazon. All right, name your cost. I'm gonna buy. Yes, you're coming here. As opposed to some slow kind of startup, quiet thing called. Oh, we have a little company called Siri. You know, it's it's very probable that it could go to any state, but it's very highly possible it is going to land on Texas's door because they have the means, the resources, the benefits to say, here's why you want to come here. And then something you brought up a couple weeks ago, Drew, and I haven't shook it ever since, is that it's the center of the country. Like, hey, we can equally disperse it to people all over the country. And that's cool. Sure, I take a hit a little bit of a delivery. Don't really care. I can eat another day or a week or whatever. It doesn't really matter all that much. But if you keep everything on the West Coast, East Coast people kind of feel a little like, it might take a while before it gets here. If it's more center, now it's the equivalent. Maybe the metaphor is like I'm meeting you down the aisle. I'm hard center.
Yeah. Well, and pickup truck sales are mostly in central U.S. too.
sure.
So for Cybertruck makes a lot of
and
sense.
if you do it in Texas, they'll be like, look, the great Lone Star State accept us. Like for pickup trucks central in the
big ones,
the world in Texas. And now they take a Cybertruck. Shows like a sense of acceptance. It's good marketing. Without
What do you guys
doing marketing?
Did you guys see that Jay Leno interview with the Cybertruck?
Yes.
I did. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
Nothing very exclusive. I mean, I kind of agree with everyone. It was very information lacking, but I appreciate any new visuals or
That's why I
updated
liked
videos
it.
of
I
the
like that they
Cybertruck.
stood on the bed, and he's like, look.
And we got to see a video of it in the daytime on the interior and seeing all the windows and being able to look. Like the Cybertruck interior is definitely my favorite after seeing that video.
Really?
So being able to, the windshield is like the Model X. Like it goes behind your head. So you have tons of visibility in the front, but also you still have the glass roof for the people in the back seat. So they can still look above very easily and see everything. I just feel like in regards to where they put the little overarching column in Teslas, the Cybertruck has it in the best location out of all of the ones I've ever seen.
Right above your head.
And I loved seeing it in the daylight. It was funny watching it going through the Boring Company tunnel, and I love just Elon looking out the window like this. I think you're good.
So we might be
because
able to
that's
make it.
such a...
Well, hey everyone, I'm Jay Leno. Well, gee, folks, have you
Just
take a
look
look?
like a blind person.
He has a lisp. Yeah.
Well, folks, you know.
Why do you want it to be bulletproof? Why is that important?
Because it's cool.
Would you like your car? Would
doesn't-
you like your truck to be bulletproof or not?
Yeah, he had great Elon moments in it. Because it's badass.
Yep.
I liked the Jay Leno thing strictly because we had more visibility on the truck. I don't care about the questions. I don't care about the thing. Elon didn't announce anything that I didn't already know, so I'm indifferent about that. Don't care what they were saying. I could have watched it on mute and still had a good experience just seeing
It's
the thing
more
out there.
frustrating. Similar to, he did a quick special on the new Roadster
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. And again, no new information, no new details to share with us, but we got some new footage of it, and they did the 0 to 60, and Jay was impressed. And but I think the frustration with people that I can relate to Nick with is that we have all these questions. There's so many things we're wondering about that we need answers for. And these cameraman and Jay Leno got to actually not only ride in it, but drive it.
Yeah, I
You
know.
This is the first time we've seen just someone off the street. I know Jay
Someone
Leno's
off
not
the
someone
street.
off the street. As in, like, someone who wasn't a Tesla employee got to drive the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Like, that hasn't happened before.
I wonder what the insurance
And-
policy looked like on that. Like,
Yeah, I could tell they had the Model 3 behind
Yep.
it. You know,
Chase
they've got
car.
the prototype laws to
Yeah,
follow.
legally that has to be there. Yeah.
Someone's behind him.
I would
at all
love to
times,
drive
but-
that Model 3, folks. Elon, if you need, I will drive it for free.
Yeah.
I just want to look at the Cybertruck as I'm.
Right. Well, I just know I have a billion questions for the Cybertruck that I would ask him
Exactly.
if
I
got
know.
the chance. And I would
Jay
be
Leno
like,
was just like-
I'd make sure to not ask anything that's already been asked just because I've been following it so closely. Just be like, don't ask about the size. That's been talked about. Don't ask about the
It also dated
exoskeleton
it.
in production.
Like, you could tell it was recorded like way back when. in,
Elon,
like,
come on the
December.
show there. I said
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We'll send this invite to him. Come on the show,
Good.
Elon.
Yeah, we got interesting, insightful questions. The questions everyone's asking, but no one who's near Elon is asking. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But
we'll just
what did you
capture
think
this
of
part
the?
of it, and then Nick just take this part of the segment on Twitter and hey, Elon, look at us.
I will.
What if
Just because you said so.
Cool.
Did you hear the tweet about the Cybertruck size not changing? That it's
Yes.
going to retain the size
That's
of the
what made me
prototype.
think
How do you
the
feel
Jay
about
Leno
that?
thing was kind of dated. Like,
Well, it was filmed a long time ago,
I know,
so that's
yes.
why it's
And it was-
dated. Yeah.
it's just like, okay, this is something
Did
I
you-
don't like about big media things, news, whatever, it doesn't matter. These people who get these big production crews, they go out and do this exclusive interview with Elon, and they don't post it within 48 hours of them doing it. Like, they sit on it.
They post
for
it
some
3
reason.
months later.
I know. It's like, why would you do that? Could you imagine
Because I
going...
remember when people were posting the smartphone videos of Elon and Jay
Yeah.
in the Cybertruck. That was back in March.
It's
That was
like,
a long time
why-
ago.
Why would they wait 3 months to post this? It makes zero sense.
They gotta edit it. Producers gotta watch it.
We gotta get
and it's part of the season
advertisement
of
for it.
Jay's Garage.
Yeah.
So it's episode 10, and we release one episode a week. So we got to start with episode 1.
Yeah.
They've got this schedule they have to keep up with.
Do you
So
Do
frustrating.
you see the
YouTube for
the
life.
marble design is gone?
Yes.
I did see that.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a different material, but the texture was different. I noticed that.
There-
Would you stand on the vault of the truck bed?
I would.
Yes.
Yeah. Even with the solar
Looks
panels.
slippery to me.
I mean, I do it just to see if it would support me, which I think it
I would do it.
because
I
Elon
just
is-
thought it
the same
would've
boots
been-
Elon's wearing.
Yeah. It'd be so embarrassing if that broke while
Oh.
they were filming.
Could you
And he
imagine?
goes,
Oh my
"Oh my effing god!"
Oh my god.
That's why it took them 3 months
He's like,
to edit
oh yeah,
it. They
you
had
can
like
stand
6
on
takes
it.
of
Elon
that.
stands on it.
Notice how they didn't bring up the window situation at
At
all.
all. Elon was probably
Yeah, I didn't
like
ask about
before.
that.
You can ask me about anything. Do not bring up the windows.
So
I
about
wonder
this
how
window,
free range he is with interviews. Like going
Not
into
very.
an interview,
Tim,
I would love to ask him like, okay, just before we start, anything you want to not bring up, not okay to talk about, feel free to let me know.
at least for
And-
the SpaceX stuff, Tim Dot, the everyday astronaut, he interviewed Elon and Jim Breitenstein a couple days ago.
I saw that interview.
And
Yeah.
he showed like them coming into the room, and it was just like, okay, here they come. Here, put a
They
mic
just start
on,
talking.
and they just
There
start
was
talking.
no-
There's no like
there was no
producers saying, okay,
Yeah.
you can ask him this, you can't ask him that. It was just like very
Maybe
informal.
that's an email form. I don't know.
maybe.
But
But seeing
you're right,
how
though. From
seeing
what
how
we
he
can
didn't
see,
even
it
know
seems
Jim
like they don't
Breitenstein was
care.
going to be there, it felt very last minute. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, you're right. It feels very much like Elon doesn't care about that kind of stuff. It seems like he will just, if you ask the question, he'll give you an answer. He'll do his best to, there's certain things he can't talk about, and he'll just say that he can't talk about them, but he'll also say when he can talk about them and that kind of thing.
like the Roadster,
But,
for example. When Joe Rogan asked him about the Roadster, he's like, "I can't talk about that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just dropped that. I think we should do the Cybertruck first.
Yeah.
What, was that off the table, or like what? He didn't tweet that. We just figured it out in the middle of an interview.
Maybe.
He's like, yeah, that's most important.
I feel like, so I know when it comes to like NDAs and stuff like that. Like I'm sure, even though like okay, he's the head of the company and stuff like that, but he's still accountable for certain things. The same way like he got in trouble for certain tweets and stuff like that. It's like,
But But also they announce a bunch of stuff through his Twitter.
Right. But
Yeah.
and sure, I mean,
Like-
he's majority stakeholder. Like it's his company. Like he has a lot of final say on a lot of things. But I think when it comes to stuff like productions, for example, the Roadster stuff that's like same thing like the Semi. Sure, like maybe certain things he's like I can't say it because there's more moving parts than that's at play, and we just for the sake of NDAs and just maybe for lack of a better word, and this is not the word I'm trying to say, but trade secrets and stuff, like certain things of how things are happening, we can't
Sure.
talk about it no more than maybe the conspiracies that they do have a location for whether it's Texas or wherever, they do have a location for the next factory, and they just can't for city or state
timing
reasons.
and
It's just certain things.
timing of the announcement
Yeah.
or something matters.
Something. So I feel like for the most part, if you ask them a question, hey, when you brought the thing on stage, if it's past tense or if it's like, hey, this thing that's been in development, let me pick your brain about it. Oh yeah, sure, I don't care. All right, you want to talk about the glass? Let's talk about the glass. We should have thrown it and then hit the sledgehammer. Then it would have worked. Okay, fine, cool, thanks. It's like, well, now you're kind of beating it over with a dead glass hammer. I'm trying to make a joke out of there, but like, you can talk about the jokes and make a
You're
joke
right.
out of it, because if you can make a meme out of it, it is successful. So it's good. But
Yes.
if it's like, hey, so what's the next model? We're always kind of looking at doing other things. Nothing's in stone yet. We're still kind of figuring out. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know-
Future stuff is more off the table than past
For
stuff.
sure.
Like I would love to ask about crumple zones and pedestrian safety, because that's one of the most common comments I get on the Cybertruck, and they haven't talked about safety measures at all with the Cybertruck. So I would phrase it in a way that they couldn't really repeat what they're trained to say,
Yeah.
For sure.
or what Elon is supposed to say. Like, okay, so we know that there's active safety features.
Save your
We get
questions.
that there's
for-
auto braking.
We're going to try to get Elon on the
cameras.
show. For all of our tens of fans who
very
are
free,
listening to this,
not doing anything.
please use your personal contacts and let's use the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to get Elon on the show.
We're under
I'm
30
sure
minutes,
he's
guys.
got lots of free time.
Nothing got pushed.
He's not doing
I know.
that.
guys
I'm
are
watching
clear.
it.
But do you-
27
are you
minutes and
guys-
11 seconds remaining.
Are you guys happy or sad about the Cybertruck not shrinking in size?
I'm actually happy that it's not shrinking, and
I'm happy too.
I don't mind if it gets a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. It's fine, but I'm kind of happy. Like,
I think my wife is happy that she likes the larger size. She goes, if you're going to get a truck, get a truck. That's what she
exactly,
says.
yeah.
Well, I'm happy because he also follows it up with, we'll probably do a smaller truck later.
Yeah.
And that gives me hope, because I would rather have a smaller truck, but I don't want them to do a one-size-fits-all, basically. I don't want them to be like, well, some people like smaller trucks, so let's make the Cybertruck smaller. It's like just differentiation, because this is such a new product category. It's a popular one, so it's fair to have some diversity in your lineup. Go ahead. Have a big one that's as large as an F-150, and I've already seen a lot of YouTubers like Tesla Raj talk about, like, well, it will not fit in my garage, but it's the Cybertruck. It can sit outside. It'll be okay.
No paint.
Especially if
It can
solar
get a
is an
little
option.
rain on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a
It'll
pretty
be
boy
okay
truck.
outside.
It's not going to,
But if
the
they-
sun's not going to damage the paint or anything like that,
No, you don't have to worry. I saw a lot of funny comments about that. It's like, Tesla's paint job sucks. Cybertruck, no paint job. Wait, that's illegal. How do you complain about the non-existent paint? It's like, I wouldn't buy a Tesla. Their paint job sucks. Okay, we'll get rid of it.
You
Can't be
do
mad
that.
about that.
If Tesla would let me save, like, if for some strange reason I was in the market for Model 3 or Model Y, if they would let me save
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$2,000 and just not have a paint job, just let it be the bare aluminum,
Same.
I would totally do that.
I'd do it. Or check the box that says, I'm going to wrap it in a week
Yeah.
anyway, so,
Hi.
don't bother painting.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Save your money.
But yeah, I'm glad to see the size isn't changing, because it means all the pictures of the Cybertruck on the road, all the comparisons with the other Teslas we've seen, those are all accurate now. So we don't have to worry about it not being quite as big. And also, we talked about the Cybertruck getting smaller, and we were kind of torn on making the bed. Like, does this mean it's not going to reach the tech specs that they promised for it, with the size of the tailgate with the bed and the size of the interior? And Andre the Giant could sit in this thing comfortably. You don't want to hear that the production model is going to be smaller than the prototype, because that's what Tesla's all about, is beating the prototype. So hearing that, I'm like, okay, good. They want to deliver on the promises. And I know the production model probably hasn't quite been finalized on, but obviously the later the news we're hearing, the more accurate to the end product it's going to be, because they're basing knowledge and experience off of what they want to do. So what they're saying now is more relevant than what they were saying a few months ago, for sure. It's crazy to think the unveiling was 7 months ago.
Jeez, quarantine is
Was
weird. Like, are we already in
November.
June? Like, this show's
And
going up
it's
June
and
1st.
it's June.
Can you believe that? November, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
It was
it feels like the
technically
Cybertruck
closer to
is
6 months ago. Don't do that to me, because it's end of November. Don't do that to me. And it's end of May.
It was mid-November.
And we're at the end of May. So,
Well, it's June when this is published,
exactly, it'll
so
be
I'm trying to be.
June. It'd be
Stop.
8 months.
Stop.
8 months, Randy. There you go.
No, it's 6
I'm
months.
thinking. I think it's going to be one of those things where while we're waiting for the Cybertruck, it feels like it's forever away. Like, oh my God, 2022. But once it's here, it's going to be like, wow, it's over. Here we go. This is starting. You're going to start seeing them on the roads, and it's going to be weird. Are they able to fit those things on the back of semis when they deliver them? I think the convenient thing about the design
Tesla
is they
semi
stack.
will be able to move it.
I don't know. Maybe not. Go
I'm
that
more
far.
excited about the accessories that would come with the truck down the road, more so than the truck itself.
Infinite accessories for a truck like
You want
that.
a modular
So many
vehicle? Here
different
you go,
ways.
baby. This is a
yeah.
blank canvas of blocks. Here, have at it. You know,
Mhm.
that'd be
really
fun.
is a blank canvas.
And if they start
to be honest.
the moment they start rolling out the truck, I'm gonna be the guy who has to stand out again and wrap that sucker too. Just so you know.
Do you think similar to the Model Y, I noticed that the order of who reserved one did not impact your delivery. So it's not
Yeah.
like an iPhone pre-order, basically. So it basically was dependent on how many people in your area ordered one.
Yeah.
Right.
So there were people that ordered a Model Y in an area where not that many people have Teslas. They got theirs way earlier than people that reserved on day one because they were in a populated location. So I wonder if that means someone who orders a Cybertruck today, could they still get theirs in the first wave?
I ordered 35,000.
Nick might be closer than
$40,000 one.
Randy
with the
to the factory.
Maybe.
yeah. I don't know.
Maybe.
Is it
But
too late
Nick
to get one in 2022?
But technically, even if Nick did order it, he's not going to pick one up when it's ready.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to be financially
Well,
smart
that's-
about this unfinancially smart decision of spending $40,000 on a vehicle I'm probably not going to use.
Well, if you're not going to use it, get the standard range.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's why I
my
have an
advice.
order in for the standard range as well.
Yeah, I just mean like if someone ordered one today, do you think, depending on location, they could still get it in 2 years? Or do you think the line is too long?
I think so. Yeah, depending on their location, just like the Model Y. Some people who ordered, 5 months ago with the Model Y ended up getting their Tesla before people who ordered it back a year and some change ago. I think with the Cybertruck, depending on where you are, less populated area like I am, there's a decent chance that whenever the $39,000 plus the $7,000 autopilot, which is basically a $50,000 car at this point, is available, I have a feeling I'll have a chance of getting it soon, and it's really going to be sad if I'm not ready to buy it, because once you don't confirm your serial number on your pre-order,
Right.
they cancel it, and so then I'll have to pay
Yeah.
for the more expensive autopilot whenever that comes. So I'm really that's
Right.
why I canceled Apple Music. I'm getting ready for the Cybertruck. Gosh darn it.
There's so many sad ways it can go because you could also be financially ready and the car's not ready.
True. Yeah.
So that's also really stressful.
That's the big boy problems, Drew. I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that.
That is big boy problems.
I have an update on my battery since I've been at full charge.
Oh yeah,
How's
how's that going?
I don't even think I'm gonna hit. I think I'm gonna hit like maybe 200 miles.
200
You're gonna-
miles, really?
You're gonna like in degradation? You mean
No, like
before you replace?
before I need a recharge.
Oh, so
So
You're
right
not going to charge your car until you have.
No.
200.
What I'm saying is that I think I can't look because I'm using my phone to record right now. But
Gotcha.
what I'm saying
I understand.
is, I think I've driven 170, 180 miles, and I have like projected 50 miles left. But when I bring up the energy chart, it tells me more like 30 miles based off of it. So doing the math, like that's like 200 miles before my car is dead. So that's over 100 miles of what it was like. Oh, hey, here's best performance. Like I'm losing a third of that. So if it's true, which I don't know yet, I'm still.
I wonder if the $39,000 Cybertruck and some of the cheaper Teslas are gonna stick with the older battery tech, and it'll just be the plaid variants that get the new prismatic batteries.
I don't think so. Prismatic is for standard range.
I'm sorry,
batteries.
The new million mile pack.
I think those batteries are for scaling production to be cheaper.
Okay.
I don't think it's just for plaid powertrains. It's tackling every battery issue at the same time. It's tackling price, it's tackling degradation, it's tackling range all at once. It's not just one over the other. But so you're saying you're getting basically 66% of your estimated range?
It's looking that way. I'll know by this coming week for sure, just because of how I'm driving. It's looking like it's probably going to stop somewhere around the 200 mile mark instead of 280, 290, 300. And I've been driving very conservatively on just how I'm using it, with the exception of giving the test drive for showing the boost, and that was the only time I did it. And I went to standard acceleration instead of the relaxed and chill and all that. I showed sport mode, standard, and took off. I did it once, and then I went back to just driving very reserved, and it is more aligned with 200 miles right now, probably. So that's looking like the real assessment. I will have a final answer once I get to like maybe 4 or 5 miles left. That's when I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure I'm like within my home range, so I can plug it in immediately and do what I got to do. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that? Would you still say people who work from home are fine with standard range, or are you saying long range is kind of necessary?
Let's I don't want to give an answer, a spontaneous. Let's revisit that question maybe next week. I need time to sit on that, because that's
time.
Yeah, I need time, because this has changed my thought. This is making me just pause for a moment about which battery configuration, which range configuration would be best, if that's truly what it is. And yeah, I'm not ready to answer that right now. I need to sit on it for.
Okay.
And since we're nearing the end of the show anyway, I rather just ask me that question again next week, and I'll have a clearer answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this is
for my weekly answer. Standard range plus is what I'm eyeing right now with the new price drop.
Hey.
Because before it was $35K Model 3, but now that's the same price if you're planning on buying autopilot, which I am. So it would just mean if I got that off menu one, it would be the exact same price, but way worse range. So that's why the off menu one doesn't make sense unless, of course, you don't plan on getting autopilot. So
I plan on getting
and
autopilot.
I would say that's consistent with my previous statings, because I've said Model Y standard range unless they do something with the 3, like make it cheaper, and they just did. They did it. So that makes the Model Y much less worth it to me. If
there you go.
the gap is now wider between the two. I don't know, even if the Model Y was like 43, 42, I don't even think it'd be worth it at this point. If because at the end of the day, all comes down to full self-driving. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest way to get it. I don't have a cargo issue. That's not a problem. So why spend all the extra money on a vehicle that's pretty much only advantage over the 3 is the cargo space. So that's why I'm not crazy about it.
There you go. As
that's
of
where
right now.
stand.
What and if the Y does drop higher in price, then that's when you'll reevaluate again.
Yeah, I think once they give us the standard range official price and they start taking orders, it'll be much more clear now. I mean, there's a chance it would be cool, like, if they did what Nick talked about earlier and brought Model 3 prices down to 35, and then they could actually hit the Model Y standard range at 39, that'd be a different discussion.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, okay. The Y's cool. I like the Y. I just don't know if it's worth the extra, $4,000 to $5,000 just for the cargo space and the powered liftgate, because, again, I don't put much stuff in my car in the first place. I think I'm going to have, like, of all Tesla YouTubers, I'm going to have, like, record low numbers of miles on my car because I just don't go very far in the first place. So there will be very little reason to put a bunch of miles on it.
I'm looking forward to doing lots of road trips in my Cybertruck. I just want to take that 250-mile base range and just do all of the road trips with it. Because as Elon said, it will be the world's best apocalypse vehicle. And
That's
seeing
true.
how we're literally in the apocalypse right now,
Yeah, it's beginning.
it's perfect.
Now's the time. If someone like me, hypothetically, that was in the market or saving up for a Model 3 standard range, do you think I'm missing out by not just waiting for the Cybertruck? Given I like the Cybertruck more in basically every way, but it is a long time away. So basically,
You're
I
not
guess
in a
what
hurry.
I'm asking
Well,
you guys...
Yeah.
in that sense, wait. You're not in a hurry. You're not commuting. You're not like be smart with your purchase. It's a long time away, but you already passed your first deadline of when you would have got the Model 3. I mean, you see how quick the time comes. Wait. If you think you like the Cybertruck in every other way, don't get a model.
But it's also
anything without.
It comes back to the waiting discussion of there always being something better, right?
Yeah, but this is
Like,
something that's actually been announced. This is something that we know is down the pipeline. This is not waiting for the updated. This is something that is coming, and just by no fault of anybody but Mother Nature with viruses and stuff, we're in this weird like limbo, what it feels like a purgatory state where we're just waiting.
Yeah.
And the wait might be a little bit longer, but this is not. I don't think it's the same equivalent of there's always gonna be something better. This is not about something better. This is something different. And this is something that you're interested in and that has been already announced, and it's not a theory, it's not a speculation, it's not a rumor or a leak. This is what is coming. What is not fine-tuned is just the details of it. But the things that what you're seeing, and you can only go off of what the official representative Elon Musk or the company is announcing off of it. You have a fair assessment about what to expect from the truck. Now, you have questions? Sure, we all have questions and stuff like that, but all things considering, you know what you can buy right now. You know what's about to be able to be purchased really soon. If that's the one, like I think I really want that one. Are you gonna? It's not the same thing as buying like a tech product where I'm gonna buy this in the interim until the biggest, better whatever comes out later, and then I'll trade. This is a very big purchase that's definitely worth the wait. If I did not have the Model 3, I would be waiting with you in that sense, and in that type of scenario. That it's something that I would just wait.
I don't know. Maybe it's an off-camera discussion needed to be had, but
Maybe.
I'm. This is also from a creative standpoint, just wondering how I'll be able to carry an EV channel and an EV podcast for even longer. If
that just
Cybertruck
gives
isn't
me
till
job security,
2022,
then, doesn't it?
Well, for the podcast, I don't know about the channel.
You're
though.
doing fine right now.
I've proved in an interesting way that it's. If you cover the news cycles and you cover news topics, it is possible to do EV content without an EV, and you can attract quite a few viewers that way, just speculating in news and dropping.
Yeah.
It doesn't all have to be user.
You're not going to
experience.
buy every model and the Roadster and the truck
No,
and the
obviously not.
So
For sure.
you're for the most case you're just one EV less than other people and still have the same validity as everyone else. So
I love the way you put that.
Thank
you just
you.
have one less EV than others.
thank you. I'm
As
a
if
wordsmith.
Jay Leno is the comparison here.
Jay Leno doesn't have that much exclusivity. He just has driven one more Cybertruck than the rest of us.
Exactly. That's all.
Boom.
So, well, that really picks my brain. We might have to do a whole nother episode on
Ooh.
that. But like, the sad reality is, if there were no timelines and all of the Teslas we know about now were available at their advertised price point, I would go with a Cybertruck over a Model 3. But timelines are a thing, and I feel like I've already waited such a long time because the Model 3 deadlines have been pushed and moved around, and I want the full, I don't want to miss out on the full self-driving updates and software getting better over time, and I want to be able to document that too. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think I would regret getting a Model 3. I would be happy with it, and I would be satisfied that we have a car that can do full self-driving and get updates and that kind of thing. But I'm wondering if once Cybertruck deliveries begin, would I then feel a sense of regret or remorse of like, should have just waited, because that's really what the channel's built around. That's the most views, that's the most popular topic on this subject, and I do think
I think it's going to become oversaturated as soon as it comes out. Everyone is going to be recording footage of their Tesla Cybertruck. It's interesting now, but I'd say it's going to be even more popular than the Model 3 as far as people recording footage about it. And like, even if they're not a YouTuber per se, once they get a Cybertruck, they're going to be taking videos of it. Ooh, Cybertruck over Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, Cybertruck, what is it like underneath a Cybertruck? And video of the brakes of the Cybertruck. Like, they're going to be making a lot of Cybertruck content. And
it's just such a long wait.
I don't think you need to wait to differentiate yourself in that, because there's not going to be much to differentiate. It's going to be oversaturated.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is there's not much functional things I would get out of it. I don't load stuff in a truck. I very rarely use trucks in the first place. And yeah, the Model 3 would suit 99% of my needs, I think. So yeah, I don't know. It's in the back of my head occasionally, waiting that long for it, but I don't know.
Well, hey, now it's not officially a race. It's officially not a race on who gets a Tesla first, because Randy won, and now we don't have to race.
True.
We can get it whenever we are the most financially ready to get a truck that costs more than it should, or a car.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because my $1,700 car works just fine.
It's true. That's the problem with both me and Nick, is we do not need these cars, but we just want them so bad.
If my situation was different and I was working from home, I would not have bought it, probably, to tell you the truth. But out of us three, I'm the one who commutes the longest and furthest.
Last minute topic. If I asked you guys as friends, would you say get Model 3 when I'm ready financially, or wait for Cybertruck?
I'd say get whatever you get when you're ready financially.
That's a given. We'll get that. We're not getting anything before we're financially ready. We're not doing a loan. Cybertruck, if I had to reserve one, still haven't. So that's why I'm wondering if it's going to take like 9 years, just because of all the reservations. But
you can have one of my reservations.
It would either be. Thank you, Nick.
It has to be dual
motor
motor
works,
or tri-motor, because I'm keeping the single motor.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say I would get single or dual, best case scenario.
To answer your question,
more than likely single.
As a friend, knowing what I know now,
would you say wait till? I mean, how long of a wait would that be? 3 years from now?
Wait, it's what you want. It's worth the wait.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wait, because this is a big purchase, and you don't want to sell it, because then depreciation is going to hurt. So just wait till
whatever Tesla I'm getting, I'm not selling it.
Exactly.
I'm keeping that for the long haul.
Wait till you're comfortable with what it is, whether that's waiting for 1,000,000-mile battery pack or both or whatever.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm not waiting.
I gotta go. We got a
Anyways,
SpaceX launch.
We gotta go, guys. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Good week. Bye.
Ba-ba-ba.